Hey, let's grab your pen and paper real quick to take some notes because I'm going to share with you a very special technique that will help you be able to remember up to 4 or 5 times the amount of vocabulary as you normally would. It will also help you dramatically improve your listening skills in just a short period of time. Hi, this is Hung, author of the book 5 Steps to Speak a New Language and founder of Jizin Academy. This technique is very simple and it will take me about 5 minutes to explain it to you. So make sure you pay good attention because I promise you it will save you tons of time and effort and even money, maybe. Okay, here we go. If you have been learning English for a while, you may notice that every time you learn a lesson, you forget most of the words, the phrases, or the sentences after just a few days, sometimes in a day or two. And it's quite frustrating, isn't it? Our brain is like a bucket with a lot of holes. And once you pour the information in, most of them just leak out. And then you may feel like you're wasting your time and your efforts. And that's just one problem. At the same time, you may have another problem, which is when you listen to a video or an audio or whatever, and you don't understand it, and you have the transcript, and you open the transcript, and surprisingly you found that you have actually learned most of the words in there, or sometimes all of the words in there. But somehow when you listen to the audio, the video, or when you talk to a native speaker, you just don't understand. That's strange. That's also frustrating. Now let me tell you how to fix this problem. So how you to plug the holes so that every time you learn, you can remember most of the words, the phrases, or the sentences that you have learned. The solution here is very simple. First, every lesson you learn must go with an audio version of it. Let me say it again. Every lesson you are going to learn should have the audio version so that you can listen to it again and again after you have learned it. So your lesson could be a story or an article or a dialogue or whatever. But it must go with audios or videos. What if your lesson doesn't go with an audio? If so, don't use it. Learn something else. Use another learning material. This is critical. Why? I will explain to you later in a few minutes, but let me instruct you this first. So you have a lesson and the lesson goes with an audio, okay? Great. Now you go ahead and study your lesson. Now, I don't know how you normally learn your lesson. If you know my 5-step learning process and you learn your lesson using that process, that would be great. But if you don't, it's okay. Let's say you study your lesson as you normally do. You check the words you don't know with your dictionary. You learn the vocabulary, you study the phrases, etc. And then, after you have studied your lesson, this is the key. So listen carefully. After you have studied your lesson, you want to listen. What's the word? Listen. You want to listen to the audio version again and again and again. How many times? Here's the number. You want to listen to it 5 to 10 times a day in 2 or maybe even 3 days. So it could be 5 times a day, 3 days in a row, or 10 times a day in 2 days. Or if you have time, you can even do it for 10 times a day for 3 days. If you don't have much time, you can do it for 5 times for 2 days. And that means from 10 up to 30 times. Okay, then what else? Nope, nothing else. That's it. This technique is so simple, yet it's really, really powerful. Let me explain it to you why. Because every time you listen to the audio, it's like you are painting a layer outside of the bucket. Or it's like you're putting a basket outside of the bucket. So it helps prevent a little bit of the words of the information from leaking out. So what happens when you listen to it 10 or 20 or even 30 times? It's like you are putting 10 or 20 or 30 baskets outside of the bucket. So it plugs most of the holes, and it keeps the information inside of the buckets from being leaking out. Then they will help you keep most of the information inside. You will keep most, or maybe all of the words and the phrases you have learned. Wouldn't that be great? This technique will also help you dramatically improve your listening skills. Why? Because it corrects a mistake that most English learners do. What mistake is it? Let me tell you. Most English learners, especially in Vietnam, they learn English mostly with text. They don't learn the sounds, or they spend too little time learning the sounds. Do you see that when people learn a lesson, such as a paragraph or an article or a story, most of them just read it. And when they see a new word, they just listen to the audio once or twice. That's never enough. Sometimes they even don't listen to the audio at all. Do you see the problem? When you want to learn a language, especially when it comes to listening and speaking, it's all about sounds, not about texts. If you don't learn the sounds, how can we hear or speak the language? The logic is simple, right? And here's another mistake, a really big mistake. Even if some people do pay attention to the sounds, they just learn the sound of the word as it stands alone. They don't learn the sound of the whole sentence. That's a big mistake, because you may notice that the way a native speaker says a sentence is very different from the way he or she says the words separately, right? So if you never pay attention to the sound of the sentences or phrases, no wonder you don't understand when a native speaker says some sentences. When you apply this technique, by the way, I call it the sound embedding. When you listen to the audio 10 or 20 or 30 times, the sounds of the phrases and sentences will naturally go into your subconscious mind. And that's what you want. You don't want to just learn the sounds with your conscious mind. You want the sounds to be embedded into your subconscious mind, so that every time you hear the phrases or the words or the sentences, you will immediately understand them without having to think, just like you understand Vietnamese. Wouldn't that be great? Okay, so here are some notes when you apply this technique. First, it won't take you much time, because normally a lesson could be around 1 or 2 minutes. If you listen to it 10 times a day, it's going to take you just 10 or 30 minutes a day. Another thing is that you don't necessarily have to sit down on a table to do this. You can simply put the audios into your smartphone or music player so that you can listen to them when you have some free time during the day. And we all have some free time during the day, right? That's why people are using Facebook so much. Now you just spend a little bit less time surfing Facebook and listening to English instead. A very important thing is you want to do the sound embedding technique after you have started the lesson, so that you do understand as you listen to the audios. You don't want to just listen to the audio without understanding what it means, because you want both the sound and its meaning to go into your subconscious mind. A common question is, can I listen to the audios and do something else at the same time, like washing dishes, for example? Well, the answer is, as I said, you want both the sound and its meaning. So you don't want to be too distracted. But I don't think you will have to be too focused, because You have already started the lesson and have listened to it a few times, so you won't have much problem understanding the audio, so maybe you can still wash your dishes and listen to the audio at the same time. Okay? So if you try this technique for just 2 weeks, you will see the difference. It really is a game changer. Just give it a try. If you like what I'm sharing with you in this video, you might also like a program that I teach. And if you agree, I will spend a few minutes to introduce this program to you. And by the way, in this course, I will be teaching in Vietnamese. Don't worry, I'm a Vietnamese, so I can speak Vietnamese perfectly well. Okay, so không nói tiếng Anh nữa, chúng ta sẽ nói tiếng Việt nhé. Hưng sẽ hướng dẫn bạn bằng tiếng Việt trong khóa học này để đảm bảo là bạn hiểu được tất cả mọi thứ. Và đây là một cái chương trình diễn ra trong 4 buổi, mỗi buổi 2 tiếng. Và trong 4 buổi học này thì Hưng sẽ hướng dẫn bạn cái hệ thống quy trình học hiệu quả để làm sao bạn học tiếng Anh một cách tiết kiệm thời gian nhất và hiệu quả nhất.
Nếu bạn thích những gì Hưng vừa chia sẻ thì rất là có thể bạn sẽ quan tâm tới một cái chương trình rất hay của Hưng và đội ngũ GDGen. Hưng rất là tự hào về chương trình này, nó có tên là 10 tuần cùng bạn hành động. 10 tuần cùng bạn hành động. Thì đây là một cái chương trình 10 tuần rất đặc biệt, dẫn dắt bởi Hưng và các huấn luyện viên giàu kinh nghiệm ở GDGen. Và cái chương trình này sẽ đưa tiếng Anh của bạn lên một nấc thang hoàn toàn mới với một cái lộ trình rất là đơn giản nhưng hoàn chỉnh. Nó sẽ giúp bạn làm chủ cả 4 kỹ năng nghe, nói, đọc, viết tiếng Anh một cách thành thạo. Chương trình này nó cung cấp đầy đủ các yếu tố cần thiết để bạn chinh phục tiếng Anh thành công. Xin lỗi bạn là Hưng hơi sai chính tả trong cái slide này, hy vọng là nó không ảnh hưởng, đúng không? Nó sẽ cung cấp đầy đủ các yếu tố cần thiết để bạn chinh phục tiếng Anh thành công. Nó sẽ đem đến cho bạn cách học đơn giản, động lực học, kỷ luật học, tài liệu thì học cái tài liệu gì, và trong quá trình thì sẽ có chuyên gia để cố vấn, tư vấn, giải đáp cho bạn nếu như bạn có câu hỏi, có thắc mắc, để bạn có thể đạt mục tiêu nghe nói đọc viết tiếng Anh thành thạo và trôi chảy. Nếu như bạn quan tâm đến chương trình này thì hãy click vào nút bên dưới để xem thêm thông tin nhé. Và xin chào và hẹn gặp lại. Xin chào và tạm biệt.